think it may be time to cut my hair and get a beard trim. I do this every single time. I grew up with a dad who had the Flowbee, and the Flowbee took care of all my hair cutting needs, and I've never been one to go to the barber shop that often. I don't know why. I always put it off, but it's getting bad. I gotta go. We got a whatnot auction tonight, but I am stopping at this Deseret Industry. It was really good to me. What was it, like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago? We found some pretty good, or I found some pretty good stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I can find today. I'm gonna pop in here, find some deals. They brought out a fresh cart of electronics. I haven't been as into electronics as I used to be back in the day. I should probably look though. These Newmarks I stay away from because I don't know much about record players. I don't want to do all the testing. There was a cool mixer in the background that I do take a closer look at. But the problem is with both of these is I'd probably have to sell them untested, especially this, because I don't know how to hook all this stuff up and figure out how everything works. And the untested ones don't sell for anything, really. And also, thirdly, no prices on either of those. So I don't even know what they were going to ask, probably 20, 30 bucks. So there was no money in it. This is a Rick and Morty hat. Definitely would have picked this up for the auction if it was like $2, maybe $3, but they wanted $5. Got to pass on it when they're pricing it too high, unfortunately. If you have Deseret Industries near you, if you're on the West Coast, the shoe section can be really decent. They typically don't overprice stuff too bad. This one's actually a little bit more pricey than Utah here in Vegas. Vans are nice. I probably would have picked those up for $12. They just had marks that I wasn't 100% sure I could get out. And, you know, once again, if it's at the bins, I'll pick that kind of stuff out and sell it even if I can't get the marks out. But at $12, $10, $15, I'm going to be careful. These are Zoom Pegasus 32s. They look like they range from about $20 on up. They're asking $12. Just not quite enough room in there, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and pass on that. Some cool looking Brooks, but they have that damage on the back there. So I'm going to pass on those. It's one of those days. They had a lot of decent looking shoes. I did find one pair. This is a nice pair. You see that Gore-Tex and the Vibram. It's Merrell. And another thing is these both look like in like new condition, like they've barely been worn. $15, I'll pay for that. I couldn't find this exact model, but it looks like I can get $30 on up, hopefully a little bit more than $30. I'm going to put these on Posh, Depop, Mercari, eBay, using my list perfectly, so we're going to try it out. Do you all ever see these vintage 70s plastic or 60s plastic or metal ladle spoons right there? I see them everywhere. They made every size in the world. There has to be like 40 million of them out there. I find them all the time. They look cool. I don't really have that much luck selling them. I have bought them in the past, but they are absolutely everywhere. Ahoy, mateys. Herein lies fool's gold. These are both fake PlayStation 3 controllers. Stay away from these. At $5, if they were authentic, they would have been borderline worth it, but look for the PS4 stuff and the PS5 stuff. But you can still make a little bit money if you don't overpay for them. But those are fake. Be careful. Here's another type of item you might think has some value. It has a card on it. It's like from the early 2000s, 90s, but those don't sell well at all. There are some exceptions, but in general, I'd stay away from those. This toy section, there's so much stuff here. I'm sure there's going to be some gems. I've never seen Olaf like this with the candy cane nose. Couldn't find much on it. Didn't pay much of anything for it. We'll throw it in the auction. Something different. I spy a Powerpuff Girl here down below. Some of these can be decent, especially if they're vintage. This one might have been vintage, but it had a lot of wear. It's just not worth the time to deal with the amount of wear that it had. Look out for Godzilla stuff and King Kong stuff, especially NECA. That's a good brand. This would have been a buy for sure at a couple bucks, but it's missing part of the tail and the arm. I might have bought it if it had the arm, but without the arm and also not having the tail, I had to pass. I really almost bought it anyway, which probably would have been a dumb decision. This is a vinyl bank. They wanted, I think, $6 for it. I didn't even want to bother looking it up. It's going to be heavy, kind of awkward to ship. It's just not going to have a high enough upside, I imagine. So I decided to pass. This looks like it's from like Superman Daily Planet. Isn't that Superman or is that Spider-Man? I couldn't find anything out on it. Does anybody know anything about this? Sometimes those random like mid-2000 Spider-Man toys especially can sell for good money. That reminds me, there's like a 2003 or 4 or 5 Spider-Man that's ultra super articulated. I found a couple times that sell for like $50 to $100 loose out of the package. I'll put a picture up. Look out for these. You can find them in these toy aisles and, you know, at garage sales. I found them several times and they're worth a lot more than people think. This wooden elephant was pretty good. I might have taken a risk and a gamble on this if it had both ears. Unfortunately, it had some damage. That was pretty neat. Looks kind of vintage. I don't know much about it, but I would have picked it up if it was complete. They got a new cart of Christmas stuff out. Let's see if we can't find anything. I love to find some ornaments or maybe some old Christmas decor or lights or something like that. Lights are tough because you have to test them, but occasionally they could be worth some money. I actually had some from like the 1930s, I believe, a couple years back, and they sold quick, and they sold for a lot of money for what they were, like 60, 70 bucks a pack. Here's some Hallmark stuff, or actually these aren't Hallmark. They're like Gibson and other brands. These are like the 90 ones, so unless they're sports, I typically stay away from them. And even sometimes the sports ones, like Shaquille O'Neal, they don't go for as much as you think. At $1 a pop, I'd pick them up. That one was $2. I was going to check it out, and it turns out it was worth like $7 maybe. So I'm definitely going to pass on that. So the DI has what they call a yard area where they have all their bigger items and stuff like that. They had a lot of Christmas stuff out in the yard area. I look for the Hallmarks like this, the newer ones in the white boxes that have dates. This is too specific, and they wanted $6 for it. It only goes for about $4 or $5, but sometimes, especially the elf ones, the elves go for a ton of money. Look out for those. I've had some luck with golf clubs lately, mostly because I've been listing the ones I have. I sold one for $40 just the other day, actually 2 days ago. So I didn't find anything today. It was a bunch of older clubs, unfortunately. I've had luck in this larger toy section, so let's see if we can't find anything. There's an old creepy doll from probably the 60s or 70s. They have a lot of big toy bags in here, typically. Looks like they didn't have many today, and that's where you can find some really, really good deals. Now that I've been going to the bins a lot, I am looking at clothing. This is like an Australia kit. I'm not sure if it's soccer or not. I wasn't 100% sure if it was legit. Since I felt a little uneasy, I decided to pass. Otherwise, I might have picked that up. But ultimately it was just too sketchy for me, so I decided to pass. Next up, we have a yellow Power Ranger shirt. This is just a bread and butter find. It was in nice condition, nice shape. It was about at the top of what I was willing to pay, $3. I think I can get 10 or 12, maybe 15 on eBay, but it's probably just going to go up on Whatnot. Hope I can make a few dollars profit on it. It's the kind of stuff I like to sell on Whatnot. Next up is a stadium giveaway find, and this one blew me away. I was not expecting it to be worth as much. I thought maybe $15 or $20, like a lot of these jerseys are, but it was interesting. It had a 51 on it, and also a Golden Knight logo. I'm going to tell you in a little bit about how much it's worth, but that was definitely the find of the day, and I was super stoked. Let's see if we can't find anything else here before we head out. I couldn't pass up this Muhammad Ali shirt. It was $4. There's a couple online right now, like between 16 and 20 something. One from that brand did sell kind of low, but I think I can get about $15 for that plus shipping. You all know I keep preaching about those stadium giveaways, and boy, was that way better than I anticipated. It is a semi-rare, I guess, Las Vegas 51s, which is a defunct minor league team. I don't think it's around anymore. It's the Aviators now, and a Golden Knights jersey. Maybe it's from their first season. One sold on bid, $50. Bid's not the way to go on stuff like that. One sold on buy it now for $150. I'm going to shoot for the $150. That was a surprise, a very pleasant surprise. That's how it is when you go to thrift stores all the time. Sometimes the best find is at the tail end of your day. It wasn't that good of a day. I was prepared to make a video about how not good of a day it was here at the DI, and that one saved it by a mile. $8 into, over $100 after fees if it sells at that price, and I think it'll sell for definitely more than $50. So I am super excited about that find, and it's good to see the stadium giveaway. It's a good point to make, that you don't want to overlook that stuff. There's a lot of people who would just go right by that jersey. It doesn't look that great a quality, but it's rare, and it's worth some money. So I'm gonna head back to the house and get ready for our auction tonight at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Thursday. If I get this out before the auction, if you're just watching this right when it comes out and I put this out at the right time, come join us at the auction after this video. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Everything's gonna start at $2. We got toys, we got plushes, we got collectibles, we got vintage, we got old and new hats, we got sports stuff, we got clothing. Everything starts at $2, and I have a $15 promo code for you that you can use with my auction or wherever you want and buy some stuff.